Hey DMs, are you feeling overworked and underthanked? Played everything from Phandelver to Vecna and you still need more? Inspiration not always there when you need it? No time to write and refine a homebrew? Well, welcome to Dungeon Delver, where we crawl through old issues of Dungeon Magazine to recover the best forgotten adventures, updating them for the modern 5e player and doing all the work needed to run them at your table. Spoiler warning.
By listening, you've agreed to spoilers, and are subject to them in a court of annoyed DMs.
Consider yourselves warned. Before we get to the adventure, what is Dungeon Magazine? It is a sister publication of Dragon Magazine, and by many, myself included, the far better publication. Founded in 1986,
in the words of a great 17th century philosopher,
Dungeon offered self-contained, place-tested scenarios called modules. Its anthology format allowed newer and established writers to let their creative juices flow. Not the other kind. Of juices, I mean. I hope? Within each issue, plots, stat blocks, tables, detailed maps, and even handouts. A to Z. Just read and roll. Sound amazing? It was. And that's what we're hoping to bring back. So you can keep your energy focused on playing and not prep. Each generation of D&D has had different rules, which also means different methods and styles of playing. Unfortunately, the rules of 1 and 2E are very confusing for the uninitiated. For example, 0 AC used to be strong.
The premise.
The first dungeon we delved was deep in the pages of Dungeon Issue 11. Released in 1988, we returned with the Dark Conventicle. Now, in case you don't know what a conventicle is, Edit Goblin. The adventure has your party saving a fair young maiden. The adventure's tagline states, if you save only one kidnapped daughter this year, save this one.
The lamp is your sole guiding beacon. Abruptly, the road makes a sharp turn around a small hill. To everyone's surprise, the flood of lamplight illuminates several human bodies lying in the road. Farther on, you can see charred remains of several wagons. The slain draft horses fallen in their traces. Shocked, you all rein in and draw weapons. Whatever occurred here might not yet be finished. Apparently, a small merchant caravan was ambushed from a position on the hillock. You search about quickly and find a lone man, seriously wounded but still alive, hiding behind the ruins of a wagon. From his expensive clothing and well-fed figure, he is apparently the caravan's owner. My daughter. The merchant moans as you bandage his wounds. Then, he sits up abruptly and yells, They've taken her. Please, you must help me. Please go after them before it's too late. I am a rich man, and I will pay you whatever you want. Only, please save her. You listen as the merchant, eyes bulging and hands waving, describes the vicious attack. My name is Niabil, and I was traveling from Indigo to Fielding with 2 wagons of silver and ingots. 8 of my own household god rode with me. I drove the second wagon myself, as my daughter is of an age to learn the business and had come along to meet our foreign contacts. In the afternoon, we came around this small hill and were attacked from ambush. I first heard the shouts of warning from the guards ahead, then the sounds of combat. I grabbed Zenobia, my daughter, and was about to leap from the wagon with her when a pair of grotesquely deformed arms reached out and pulled her from my grasp.
The location is original, so it can be used with any campaign. The author states it needs a tempered setting, and since the majority of the scenario takes place underground, and jungles are cool, I disagree. Regardless, they pass through the city of Indigo some time ago heading north, and that's when they come across a merchant that survived a violent ambush, but his only daughter, Zenobia, was taken. Fortunately, your party has a very particular set of skills they've acquired over a very long campaign. The Raiders are actually sewer-dwelling cultists that worship the Daemon Lord, and Thraxus the Decayed, aka Lord of Misery and Despair, aka Thraxus the Decayed. I feel like there's a Diablo IP conflict going on there. The cult's evil pope, Naximon, believes that Zenobia's sacrifice is just what to get the demon lord that is everything. Anthraxis will be so grateful that it'll grant Naximon the power to achieve his dream of doing more evil stuff, and being rich while doing it. The unsurprising twist is Naximon is being tricked into giving control of his body over to Anthraxis. The players must rescue Zenobia within 48 hours and return her to her father in one piece, or else Naximon will become the Demon Lord's avatar to cause all kinds of bad.
The mechanics.
As stated, your party has 48 hours, but they don't start with this information. They piece it together from in-game encounters. The result is that mid-game light bulb going off, when they put it all together not knowing how much time is left. Then they have to start weighing all their actions carefully, since time itself is a resource to be managed. Downside, as DM, you need to keep careful track of time, because a lot of the tension and suspense requires accountability. Rangers, this is for you. Coming across the aftermath of the ambush, on the trail of the raiders, you diligently stalk your quarry across open grasslands, all the while vulnerable to the elements and the unknown. And in this world, the unknown can and will kill you. 5e tracking is usually very bare bones, but if you dig deeper, there's a toolkit that can make tracking very interesting. While traveling, you may encounter hazardous weather, monsters from nightmares, or rare sights and events. The cultists are found within a sewer system beneath ruins deep in the Sekawak forest. These ancient sewers are falling apart, and at the best of times, there's just enough room to move freely. This puts unusual limits on ranged attacks and spells, reducing the range of these attacks by the environmental restraints and line of sight. This is where the author's devious genius becomes apparent. Remember Anthraxis the Decayed? The demon lord the cult worships? Guess what he's all about? Cue the next horror.
I'm dying over here.
The DMG has scant to offer on this topic, but we already contracted some of the nastiest ones, so you don't have to. Coincidentally, paladins have an underutilized trait that gives them immunity to disease. It's as if 5e inherited mechanics without the correct framework, so they end up useless. The cultist, the dungeon, and even the treasure is contaminated with mind-rotting illnesses. The description of these cultists is one of a wretched figure, ravaged beyond recognition. Now imagine the look on the players' faces as you roll for disease, since they disregarded your subtle warning as flavor text. They're dumb, stupid faces. I mean, they're beautiful, unfortunate faces. The sewer is particularly gross as well. Still active, it has 2 feet of a thick, putrid slurry, teeming with all sorts of malicious bacteria and parasites. As your party splashes towards adventure, how many times have you thought to yourself, how come a bad guy's lair doesn't have more realistic countermeasures for murder hobos? The name of the game is Covert Op. If the party goes in all guns blazing, they'll bring down all 200 plus cultists down on them. That's like a lot. And did I mention that Naximon and his buddies will abscond with poor old Zenobia? Well, yeah, that too. No bueno. If they want to survive, they'll have to stay quiet. So no fireballs. Carefully creeping in the shadows, which requires your party to cover ground slowly and make responsible choices. What does that mean? This dungeon is a maze that eats time and poops PCs. They're gonna need to capture and gather intel, not only to make it through the maze, to even find out the reality of the situation, all without the DM being a big softy and telling them or hinting. They're gonna have to put it together without being prompted. They may get lucky, but it's more likely if they don't resort to intel gathering, they'll be wandering in circles forever. For creative players, there's more than one way to get intel. Instead of just pulling a solid snake with a bag of holding in lieu of a cardboard box, what about disguises? Having a bard made up and acting like a fellow cultist that slept in and needs directions is what D&D legends are made of. I like the level of thought this module put into the small details. The author states that any obvious magic users or anyone wearing shiny armor draws alarm. In a sewer of burlap sack wearing pizza boil faces, it just makes sense. Now, I know what you're asking, and yes, the traps are eye-wateringly deadly. Underneath 2 feet of sewage, they're very hard to spot, so we toned them down. But before you react, here's an example. This dungeon's flavor of pit trap is very spicy. Hidden underneath the sewer sludge, raw, there's no way to notice it beforehand. 30 feet deep, filled with toxic ooze. Are the PCs wearing armor? They sink to the bottom and drown after 1 round. Water breathing? You're inhaling medical waste and will die of every disease known to man. You can't lower a rope. It's buoyant. If the players put 2 and 2 together and tie a weight of 5 pounds, maybe, but they only get a 30% chance of success. Oh, I forgot. You know what a black pudding is? There's one of those there too. The pit is insta-death. If your players are masochistic, use the original. But I think you'll appreciate our updates. Illusionary walls? Boy, do we ever. The way they're used here reminds me of the rules of the Wizard of Oz. If a character believes with all their heart that there is no wall, the wall just isn't there anymore. The caveat is the DM has to also believe with all of their heart that the PC is believing with all of theirs. Oz within Oz's. Ozception. What? How? Why? Well, and I quote, players must give a good in-game reason to why it's not really there. Otherwise, the wall is real in every way that counts.
What about storytelling?
Now, not everyone is sold by mechanics. That's fair. Well, what if I tell you that the Dark Conventicle is brimming with roleplay personality? RPP. I need to think about that one. This is a great example of adventure's mechanics setting the stage for the story. The gameplay is a slow burn, which is perfect for horror. After finding the ruins and deciding to build a temple to a demon, they spend the next year abducting men, and only human men. Side note, they're also sexist and racist, so add that to the list of grievances. Then, the men undergo brutal and intense brainwashing, reprogramming them into fanatical servants of the demon. As a show of devotion, they're infected with so many plagues and pestilences that they're mutilated to the point they're no longer recognizable as human. Kept alive only by the dark powers of Anthraxis so they can worship him. They live in constant, agonizing pain. They're brought to a sewer to remain forevermore. That is, if everything went smoothly. Every so often the party may encounter a lone lunatic, mind broken, just wandering aimlessly because the reprogramming didn't take. Discarded by the cult to die. A cruel, horrific tale, if ever I heard one.
A dungeon, my lord!
From top to bottom, we've updated this dungeon. Tables, monsters, items, treasure, and 5e friendly maps have all been taken care of. This is not a mega dungeon, but it is a dungeon crawl. And for those of you that have mainly only played the modern 5e campaigns, you'll be accustomed to the 5-room dungeon. Let's go over a few standout sections from the original. In the narration for section 2, the author slyly included a dirty trick. It states the sewers are dark, and you need light to proceed. This sets up the PCs for failure later in section 4, due to the Mirror of Opposition. This mirror creates evil doppelgangers of anyone reflected on its surface. It's set up around a corner, so players must look at it before they have time to react, hence activating the dungeon's trap card.
You've activated my trap card!
Here's the catch. In darkness, the mirror becomes invisible and doesn't activate, since the mirror needs a light source for it to be seen and triggered. Hence, encouraging the party to use light to proceed forward is very underhanded. In section 13, you'll find a teleportation elevator that works well in 5e. And it's pretty straightforward. But for some reason, the elevator has a chance to fail. Because, reason. Of all the things to die from in a sewer with an evil cult, an elevator. Oh, by the way, there's also another actual elevator. This one screams, "I am a trap." The damage is a very sane 20d6. The author said he designed it as a honeypot for people that pull every lever they come across. Now this sounds like it's personal, and he had someone in mind when he came up with it. In section 14, you'll find a "Do Not Enter" sign posted on a wooden barricade. It keeps out a specter. Now, I'm not one of your fancy university ghost scientists, but I am willing to guess wood isn't the usual choice for ghost proofing. Technically, they also used magic, but then why the barricade at all? Because if you cross the barricade, the ghost will get you, so the barricade is working. Okay, section 25. This is it. The Big Conventicle. It sounds weird, but it's true. There are over 240 cultists here.
240.
They do one of those... Trying to make mass combat work like this in 5e would be such a grueling experience. I figured out a solution for mass combat that doesn't require psychosis. The author actually expects at least 40 rounds of combat. The entire module is written around this scenario. So if you skip it, you'll be gutting the module. But trying to fit it in would make this module unplayable. Therefore, we turned the 240 cultists into 5 swarms of cultists. I hope that you like the solution as much as we did. That, brave adventurers, was the Dark Conventicle, our first dive here on Dungeon Delver. I hope your players love it, or if you are a player, that you threaten your DM to run it. Let me know in the comments how it goes, and any changes you made yourselves. I would love to hear your thoughts as we grow this channel. If you want to support us, below is our link to our Ko-fi and Patreon, where you can get free updated module docs. For subs on those platforms, we offer a fancy PDF version, quality of life supplements, and more. Any support is greatly appreciated. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. We hope to see you soon for the next adventure of Dungeon Delver.